You've probably seen photos like these somewhere on the internet, and if you haven't, you probably live under a rock. But if you have seen these, you know there's a ton of these pictures, anywhere from good old classic funny ones to ones that actually disturb me. Like, what is this? But if you know my channel for a while, you know I've created many of these videos where I recreate real planes into functional paper planes. But when I look back at these photos, I always wondered, is it actually possible to make one of these absurd aircrafts into flyable paper planes? The first one I decided to choose was the Airbus A3 plane meme, which is basically a normal Airbus A320 with the middle taken out. And there's a lot of these, so as being one of the most well-known of the plane memes, I decided to try this one. Okay, after looking at a reference photo, I just realized that the biggest challenge here is just getting this tail sort of, I guess on this, yeah, it's like on top of the wing, right? Not like, but the side. And the main problem with that is like the usual strategy I was gonna do with like making like general aviation planes. It's separated where you cut off where the wings and the tail are going to be. I guess on the same plane as the wings is going to be a bit of an issue. Okay, so I got to the point where this is how I usually make my normal planes. So I unfolded this a little earlier. Didn't cut this because this is where the tail is going to be. What I should be able to do is just fold this part up. I'm thinking cutting under here, fold this up for the tail. This is really hard to do, like to overlap both sides. But let's just see how it turns out. Okay, so even though this is like the stupidest thing I've ever made, I'm actually so proud of how it looks. It looks exactly like the meme. Like, can we get a photo? It's basically the exact same thing. But it does have a problem where if I sit it down, oh, no, that, but yeah, the wings are kind of like that. So I'm adding this little piece of paper. Oh yeah, get it. Wait. This little piece of paper, I'm just gonna add it like right here so then it doesn't like fold on top. Yeah, there we go, so look at that. Now this doesn't fold the wings immediately right there. You know, it's kind of crazy because this was first try. Like I didn't have any, I just went for it and just recorded. So it's kind of crazy how good this was able to look. So I'm definitely going to make a tutorial on this in the future on how to make it because I really like it. It's really funny. That actually doesn't fly that terribly. It did kind of, yeah, it was a little tail heavy. So, I mean, I could just like add a little more weight in the front, but it wasn't that terrible. I was expecting that just to do flips and something and just not fly. Now, although it was stable, it fell through the air more than just flying. This is mainly because since these wings are flat, unlike real planes, they create little to no lift. And combined with the fact it's tail heavy, it becomes more of a wall than an actual wing, making it just stall. Another reason for this is just because of the stubbiness of the plane design. Everything is so close to each other that it just becomes more of a rock with wings. But after adding some weight and throwing it at a higher speed, it flew quite well. The next plane Photoshop meme I chose was this one, which is basically a super long A340. I wanted to test it out because I was genuinely interested in how this one would fly with the wing being in the very front of the plane, but I'm not going to be making it this incredibly long to save on paper and also to give it a better chance at flying. The idea was to have two separate pieces, so one piece is for the front wing, one piece is with the tail and the wing. So this is to be normal, this one I'm going to cut off the back wing, and then in the middle I'm probably gonna add like another piece of paper with no wings and stuff, just to connect in the middle. My biggest concern is just that it's gonna fall apart. I don't know if this can stay together. I mean, in real life, this probably wouldn't, but you know, we'll try our best. Alright, so for this middle section, I'm just gonna have it as like 1 bar length. I'm not gonna have like multiple, like the actual plane. First of all, just to you know, like save on some paper. I don't want to waste that much paper, and also just to give it a better chance to fly, because if it's like an actual pencil with two little stubby wings, it's not gonna fly. So we're just gonna build the head section now. It's gonna be the exact same thing as this, except we don't cut off the nose. So we can basically attach on here. Alright, so this, I'm not gonna lie, I actually really like how it looks. It is just kind of painful to make all 8 engines and glue them on, but you know, it looks really like just stupid, and it looks actually quite similar to the actual plane. I could actually, since now I know how to make the A340, I could just make a tutorial and make the paper A340, but it's on this now. I know it's a little shorter just because I don't want to use as much paper, and you get the idea already. If this flies, you know, if this can fly first try, because I never do any adjustments on the first flight, physics is a lie, but let's do it. Alright, I'm gonna do that one more time because I might have just been lucky. Okay, let's just do it. Oh, that literally just flies. That is crazy. If you don't already know, this double wing format is the same as a plane term called tandem wings, where there are 2 identical wings on both sides of the aircraft. This helps to create more lift, but since this isn't a usual plane design where there's a small tail wing in the back, this adds more weight in the tail as a result. But since the paper plane is much longer compared to the short and skinny wings that are higher up the body, it makes the CG shift back way more, causing a pitch up while flying. But after adding a lot more weight in the nose to balance it out, I got a pretty good flight. Of course, to wrap everything up, I brought in some art supplies so then we can color the Airbus A3 one. So enjoy this little art montage.